Hello everybody, dudes and dudettes, marvels and marvelettes, peoples and peepettes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to G for G, Games for Gamers. Today we are taking a look at MAAT, MAAT, Marvel Avengers Alliance Tactics, and its ass is going bye-bye. We are putting this skanky hoe down in October. Honestly, it couldn't come soon enough. Today's background music is brought to you by Alexander Venter, Savant, his new album out on YouTube, Protos. The song is Prototype to start with, and there will be a link in the description. So, what is going on here in Marvel Avengers Alliance Tactics that I've been meaning to do a video on for a long time? I haven't done one since the beta that I wheedled my way into. The game, like Pirates of the Caribbean, is going down. Going down, down, down. Going down, down into the shitter. And that's why things like the Fujin Fang are 1 gold, the Belching Blaze is 1 gold, and you know what? Hey, I'm gonna buy it. Why not? It's 1 gold. I have 8. Game's going away. That should be 1. That should be 1. Captain America should be 2. Thor should be 2. Shield uniform should be free. Fuck this game. So, I warn you guys right now, this will be a straightforward video. There will be ranting. There will be what you consider whining. There will be negative opinions. There will be positive opinions. There will be naming and shaming. So I ask all peoples with medical conditions to please leave the room. Pregnant ladies and small children, leave the room. If you choose to stay, keep all arms, hands, legs, and bodily appendages inside the vehicle at all times. Enjoy your stay here on the roller coaster that is MAAT. So, MAAT is closing. It'll be closing by October. So we have a little under 2 months left of this shit. Why is this game shit? This game is shit due to its poor execution and poor realization by Playdom as to what would happen to this game. What could they have done to fix it, and what is wrong with it? Well, let's discuss what is wrong with it. By installing this game into your little Facebook profiles and having it on the left side over there, the moment you log into this game, you are PvP flagged. PvP enabled. You have a shield for a little while, but in order to simply play this game, you have set your PvP flag to be on. Now, take for example, say, World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft, you have the choice between PvE realms, PvP realms, RP realms, Brazilian realms, European realms, Oceanic realms. There's probably even some realms dedicated to furries, and of course there's Moonguard, where everybody has E-sex in the inn. For the Alliance side, every day there's lots of banging. Well, so this game doesn't have that differentiation. What is so bad about PvP in this game? Well, it can suck the life out of you. It can... Another error! Wow, I just came back from this error the first time I recorded it. Brilliant play, Dom. Well done. Well done. The good thing is, if you click up at this banner, just like Marvel, just like the pirate game, you get 20 gold in Marvel Avengers Alliance instead of the 10, and it crashed. It used my energy again, and that building will not be on fire, so fuck this game and its tiny little dickhole. So, alright, what was the problem with this game? Well, the problem with this game was, aside from PvP/on all the time, but we'll get into that. This game ran in open beta for quite a while in several countries that were not the United States. Britain had access to it, and some Pacific Rim countries like Japan and the Philippines had access to this particular game. When it came out from the beta into being on the American shores, if you played the beta, you were established and the world was already out there and you did not suffer a wipe. I was like, wow, I didn't get a wipe. My nominal and minimal effort that I got when I was playing the beta isn't going to get rolled back. Oh my god, this is beautiful. I didn't expect that. Betas always roll you back. And now the reality has sunk in as to what that means, that the reality didn't get blown back. That means scrubs, trolls, flaming dickhole jackasses like Salawahan over here, this little pinoid piece of crap, can sit there and treat everybody on the shard like cattle. By him playing this game the way a lot of us love Marvel Avengers Alliance and play the hell out of it, he had a huge lead on everybody else, this lifeless scrub. I am 3 minutes away from him and he treats me like I am a cow that when he feels like it, he goes out in the field, yanks on a couple teats for a little while, puts it in a pail, and walks away and dunks some milk for cheese on his wife. Well, that is a major problem because you can never get ahead when you have people like Scrubbawahan that are simply vicious, and they're trolls. They're lifeless trolls that even when you express to them, please stop, they continue because simply he can. This guy is the most vilified person on our shard. Multiple people have complained about him in chat, and he does what he wants simply because he can. He is Donald Trump walking into a McDonald's who decides he wants to buy everything that is currently cooking on the grill. Who's gonna stop him? You can't. So, if you look in my battle report over here, he hit me 14 hours ago. He hit me a day and 6 hours ago. He hit me a day and 6 hours ago when somebody else was in my base fighting alongside him. He hit me a day and 7 hours ago. And he hit me off the charts. I had about a week or two where I hadn't heard from him in a while, and he's back to his scrubby little scrub lord, lifeless, flaming, jackass troll ways. I cannot say enough bad things about this piece of shit. Sorry, you're gonna have to deal with it in this video. I apologize. There are other people who do pop me with some frequency, but I pop them back because I can, and we trade. Salawahan is not tradable. He has level 20 heroes in his buildings. There's nothing you can do about it. I've taken out one of his heroes of the 4 one time that I fought back against him. It's a piece of crap. Let me give you an example of why I think it is a piece of crap. I will give you a counterpart out in the industry. World of Warcraft, in Vanilla WoW, you had epic weapon quests for some classes. One of them was Hunters with Rock and Lock, and another one was Benediction for Priests, Benediction slash Anthema. If you chose to roll on a PvE server, which meant you were only flagged when you wanted to be flagged, only flagged in Battlegrounds, like a PvP season of Marvel Avengers Alliance, remember that, you went into a battleground to choose to fight other humans. You turned your flag on to choose to fight other humans, or you had an accident. And every now and then there was a quest or two that would flag you, but not that often. In this game, your PvP flag is always on. What they could have done is introduce cooperative realms and PvP realms, similar to Heroes of Might and Magic. The way it goes in this game, people like Salawahan, there is no recourse against them. Unless you are at a comparable level to him, and you will never achieve a comparable level to him, because they will always knock your silver down when it gets too high, and you appear basically on their radar. The rich stay richer, the poor don't get anywhere in this game. Taking, for example, Benediction and Rock and Lock in World of Warcraft, to complete this example. As a hunter, you fight a demon in Vanilla WoW to get a portion of your weapon, a portion of the quest. That demon is neutral. If a non-hunter taps it, it disappears and it's on a respawn timer like a rare. If a hunter taps it and is on the quest, they begin combat, and there were special conditions for that particular demon. One you had a kite, one you had to hang in melee range, one you couldn't use a pet, so on and so forth. I accidentally, showing off to a friend of mine as a warlock, banished an Alliance Hunter's demon, thinking I was just playing around with him, that it would be banished, he'd get some range, he'd be like, you're a jackass, and then he'd fight the... I didn't know that what I had done is I caused a despawn. That guy's guild leader logged a horde tune, came and talked to me, and was like, hey, can I talk to you about a member of your guild? I said, I'm sorry, that was actually me, I didn't mean to despawn it on him. I didn't know it was a rock and lock demon. That is my total fault. Sorry. It happened to me when my hunter in Vanilla was going through the quest. An Alliance hunter named Egtho, a dwarf, shot my demon out in the southern area of Blackrock Mountain, despawned it, and I had no recourse against him. He was not flagged. I was not flagged. I could not retaliate against him for ruining my quest and putting my demon on a 2 to 4 hour spawn timer. On a PvP realm, you can get revenge. You can turn around and shoot that asshole. And now a fight breaks out, and if you win or lose, you have attempted to get your revenge and even the tables. On a PvE realm, Blizzard called that griefing. Yes, there is no doubt about it, it was called griefing. It was filed as such, Blizzard considered it as such, and was considered an actionable offense. On a PvE server, by doing what that hunter did, on purpose, mine was an accident, so I guess it's karma, but still, what that hunter did, and he admitted he did it on purpose when I made an Alliance tune to yell at him, and he said, why would I let a camel bastard like you get an epic weapon? I was a Tauren, I'm a cow, not a camel. This kid, he was like an 8-year-old fucking idiot. I could have filed a ticket against him, and it would have been considered griefing, and it would have gone through a ban. I had a member of my guild who routinely griefed the benediction quest for Alliance Priest. That tune that he did it on actually got banned for life. He does not have this tune back to this day. Yeah, no joke. Not his account, but that tune is locked down. He's never been able to get it back because of that griefing. And that's what it was. What Salawahan is doing in this game is griefing. He is using his immense, fat fucking girth to lay his asshole belly on top of my base, take what he wants, and knows I really don't have any recourse because I'm severely outclassed, and no amount of tactics that I can use on his heroes and his buildings will win. And my heroes will never get ahead, because if you look over here and see what it is like for me to train my heroes currently, you'll see the problem. I'm at 30k. I have a decent mark on my head at this point at 30k. If I wanted to train Black Panther here at level 9, wait for it, come on you shitty, laggy, yeah, load in everybody's sprites. Also, this game uses flash horribly, it's not optimized worth a damn. But okay, come on. 100k. It will cost me 100k to train him, and him, and him, and he's getting close. The time doesn't matter. Obviously, the shield points don't matter, but for me to get 100k silver, I am literally driving through the worst alley of the worst block of the worst neighborhood in the worst city in the entire United States, dressed as the Geico cash falling everywhere man. I'm literally walking down an alley in a dark night with cash flying off me, whistling. To be anywhere over 30k silver. I mean, I can't really defend my base with that. I can slap agents in there, but now you're giving experience to the people who are farming you. When you retract your defenders, they get the silver for free, they get the ISO for free, they expend the effort, but they don't get experience, so you limit their gain. What I like to do is I stack my heroes in a particular building that has a high silver cost, and then I rotate them. So I keep people on their toes. They'll hit a couple buildings and it'll be like, okay, yep, this one was undefended, this one was, oh, wait, I'm seeing the wait symbol, oh. And then they're dealing with combat, and scrubs who park Quinjets full of agents above you thinking they're just getting empty buildings will run into your heroes and agents lose. Even the best equipped agents will lose against heroes most of the time. Heroes versus heroes, it comes down to the level and obviously the tactics. So, what could Playdom have done to fix it? Well, PvE and PvP realms, number one. Number two, they could have fixed the way in which you got a shield. When this screen goes away, you will notice I have 8 buildings at 10 energy a pop. You cannot, unless you cash in your energies. And now if you look, you'll see I've got a lot. I have 356 2-packs. I've got 7 10-packs. That's not bad. It costs 80 energy to shield a base and get a roulette. Of a normal base, like mine, it would cost Scrubbawahan 80 energy to shield me. That's the gentleman's way of approaching this game, is you shield the people you hit. Well, since it costs 2 more energy than most people care to expend, and actually 4 more energy, people don't do that. They rape your high loadout buildings, and then they walk away, pockets jingling and laughing, while you go down from about 50k to about 30k, or 25k, and then somebody else comes along, and you're down to 18k when you were at 45. There's no way to recover from that. If somebody has it out for you, you cannot recover other than spending gold, real-life currency, for a shield. What could PD have done to help you? Well, they could have shielded you at less energy. They could have maybe given you an 80 energy cap. But then again, scrubs like Salawahan are just probably going to pop you and leave one building up so that you don't get shielded. And that's a real flaming troll. But that's this guy. That's how he operates. He's the most vilified person on the server. People complain about him constantly, and he doesn't care. He sits there in the head start that the Pinoys had over there, and he uses it against everybody else. Other people pop other people randomly, and you know, you revenge strike against them. There's a guy in chat who gets popped routinely for 1k silver by this guy Gino, and he retaliates and takes way much more back, and this Gino is completely on the losing end. He routinely hits this guy's base, and he wastes like 30-40 amounts of energy for 1k silver. The guy, there are idiots, and then there are trolls. Then there are gentlemen in this. Gentlemen like Nimra, let me see if he's... well, his name's not in chat. There's a guy here who will... There are several people who will fly around and shield burning bases. I will do that too. I will pop somebody for roulette when they have 2 or 3 buildings left, get minimal amounts of silver, and it gives them a roulette. It gives me a roulette and gives them a shield. There are gentlemen alliances. So, for example, what do alliances do in this particular game? Well, if you have an alliance with your neighbor Bob, let's say I'm allied with Aoki over here. Let's just call him Bob. This guy's base is Bob. I make an alliance with Bob, and we say, okay, if we see each other's bases on fire, finish the remaining buildings off for a shield. And he's, right now, prime example of that. He has 3 buildings, he has 3 silver bars. I would get a roulette, and I'd get some silver out of hitting this guy, and he would get a shield, so in the comfort of his shield, he can build back up. And I don't remember how long that shield lasts, until he does an offensive action again. So, the problem with that is, say Salawahan did this, and knocked him down to that amount of buildings. it's still gonna cost him money for me to gentleman pop him. I'm gonna give him a shield, but I'm still gonna cost him silver. And then, yes, it's gonna be a cycle because he's gonna cover me and he'll get it back. But then you're still giving up silver even to your friends just to get the shield. And that is the problem with this game. They threw PvP down your throat and they made it so you could not throw your hand up and say, I'm sorry, stop, I don't want to do this, I cannot get ahead. I have 52 fucking heroes stuck at level 7, I cannot get the money to train them because people are farming me. Honestly, I was in one of the calmer areas of the Shard for a long time. I just was really left alone. And then there were some areas where you scroll by them, and I swear to God, they look like the Middle East. Everything's on fire. Everything looks like it's Hell World from Silent Hill, and there's like blood dripping and rust, and, you know, honestly, this guy's tempting to poke for the roulette and everything. I would probably choose not to do that because he's right here. I don't want counter pops. And you know, this guy's like right here. It just, yeah, I had some guy who was flying 4 minutes to farm me. And I would retaliate against him every single time because he wasn't that strong. So if he hit me, I'd hit him back. Honestly, like, that guy should have stopped at that point. So that's the problem with this game, and that's why it ultimately failed. You could not get out from the fat elephant in the room that will sit on you and rape you for everything you're worth. Unless you spent gold to get a shield and kept your shield going, and built up in peace. But even then, like in the case of Talahot, how do I ever get to the point where I can really defend against him? Look at this. A 1-day shield has a 2-day cooldown. A 7-day shield has a 14-day cooldown. Now, maybe you could go like 7, 3, and 1. Possibly. But, you know, it's 16 gold to do that. Why should I be forced into spending my real-life currency equivalent item just slightly get ahead against other people? I get it if it's trying to get ahead against a story. We do that in Marvel Avengers Alliance. We respin, you know, we get command points and all that kind of stuff. But that's us against the story, not us against other people who are making our lives hell. And that is where this game falls down. Its flash requirements were too heavy. It constantly bugs. There's times where I'll clear my flight deck and, you know, collect my winnings, send them off again, put somebody on a Quinjet, get them out there, boom, you gotta refresh your game. So, honestly, people, if you're a member of this channel, and you watch me and you subscribe, and you don't play this game, play it, click your 20 gold, get the hell out. And if you're in the game right now, I apologize if you like this game, because honestly, I did. And now that it's over, I'm happy. I'm relieved that I don't have to deal with jackasses like I've been dealing with in this game, that are just merciless about what they do, and then you can never get ahead, and you can never get to the point where you can retaliate against them. So, you know, I do apologize if it sounds whiny. It is, but it's whiny because it's frustrating, because I have no recourse to do it. You know, those other people that you saw on my PvP list over there, I can do things about those guys. I staff my heroes in a building, and they usually can't beat those heroes. I go back and pop them again and get my money back, unless they got money from me and immediately spent it, now they're gone. So, you know, it's a shame. The game had potential. It was tactical. You know, you had smart tactics you could use. You didn't just... You could blindly charge around every corner and go right to where everybody was every turn. Or, you start off in the beginning, you huddle up, you buff yourself and everything like that. So, for example, over here, Cyclops. Cyclops has 3 offensive abilities and 2 buffs, the way I have him right now. it was not necessarily smart for me to just bum rush the stage every single time I got into combat. I could make everybody hug Cyclops, sing Kumbaya, get themselves a morale boost, and a field tactics. That is what a tactical thing is about. Using a corner to your advantage, spreading out to avoid AoE, stocking a fight with certain classes that are going to make it easy, maybe slapping in an agent because he can bring a field kit with him, huddling together in the beginning of the round to get buffs, knowing who gets placed where, and let me put an infiltrator near my blaster so that if a tactician gets an extra turn, my infiltrator's right there to counter. Oh, there's usually infiltrators that start on that side. Let me put a scrapper, let me put Iron Fist over there so he can fucking Hadouken one-shot punch somebody's tits off over there. See, look, okay, Lazarus. The problem with this game for me was PvP. Shit for resources and the ability of big gold monkey players to prey upon casual... Thank you, Lazarus. Thank you so much for proving that other people share my point, and this was it exactly. So, take care, everybody. If you enjoyed Marvel Avengers Alliance Tactics MAAT, I'm sorry if this video offends you. Stay tuned on the channel for the weekly wrap-up of Marvel Avengers Alliance. We've got some other surprises there. Stay tuned for some videos on a new beta that I'm in, the long-awaited, highly hyped, free-to-play MMORPG that some people are waiting for, and it's called Arcade. There are many like it. This is the Arcade. It's going to be interesting to see, and I got invited to the beta, installed it last night. So stay tuned over the weekend. Maybe we'll get some footage out. There'll be a link to Alexander Vinter's YouTube video with these songs. There'll be a link to the Twitch channel down in the description. Check it out over the weekend. Maybe there'll be some footage of some games. And of course, stay tuned here on G4G for more Marvel Avengers Alliance, Arcade, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, whatever. Take care, people.